Welcome to today's episode of the Create a Magical Day podcast. I'm your host, Joyful Jania. In this episode, we're going to explore how to plan your 12-week year the soft way, focusing on joy, balance, and intentional progress rather than rigid goals and overwhelming expectations. I'll guide you through how to break down your big dreams into 12-week cycles, staying emotionally connected to your goals while making consistent, joyful strides towards your vision, my friend. Whether you're looking to enhance your self-care routine, overcome overwhelm, or simply bring more balance into your life, today's episode will give you the tools and inspiration to start planning with purpose and ease. One of my favorite words. So let's dive in and start creating a magical day, one joyful step at a time. Today, we are sprinkling joy into your day. Welcome to the Create a Magical Day podcast. Hey there, joy creators. Let me ask you, are you tired of setting New Year's resolutions that fizzle out by February? Well, it's time for a change. And what if I told you that you can achieve your biggest goals and still stay aligned with your joy by breaking them down in what? 12-week chunks. That's right. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to do just that with quarterly planning using my new Create a Magical Day workbook, the Joy Map, Quarterly Vision and Goal Setting, to guide you through a joyful, actionable, and fulfilling approach to goal setting. We're going to take the power of the 12-week year by Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington, New York Times bestseller, and give it a little twist. So it's not all about pressure and performance, but about aligning with your heart and enjoying the process. Are you ready to dive in? Let's make this year one where we crush our goals with ease and excitement. So, before we get started talking about the 12-week year and also the joy map, you know I like to start off with some joy. So, oh my gosh, this weekend I got to hang out with some friends and we had like a little art party. It was tea time and art, and we made these cute little shells. And on the back, we put like glitter glue and Mod Podge, but on the inside of them, it's origami paper. And so you like Mod Podge it on and then a gold outline to make it pop. I love this so much, and I am putting it in my room and I'll put some jewelry in it. This just brought me so much joy. One, it brought me joy to connect with my friends. Connecting, it just feels so good. I don't know about you, but it feels really good to me. When those people that really fill your cup, you celebrate life together, and it could just be simple and fun. And then also doing something creative can really just spark a lot of joy. It taps on something on the inside that just ignites this passion, even if it's something so small as creating this cute little shell. So anyway, are we ready to dive in and talk about this quarterly planning? This is not just the beginning of the year, right? This is quarterly planning for the entire year with a lot of joy infused. So, breaking the year into 12-week segments, like the book talks about, helps create a sense of urgency and focus. Instead of stretching goals over a long 12-month period, you can work with clear, actionable steps and track your progress more effectively in shorter bursts. The condensed time frame, it helps maintain that momentum and keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind. So you don't wait until the end of the year, right? And you're like, uh-oh, I didn't do it. And you can actually achieve more in like small, manageable goals. Something I could tell you is like quarterly planning allows you to break down big, intimidating yearly goals into smaller, more achievable steps. It reduces overwhelm and helps you concentrate on what's important right now. It can help to ensure you stay consistent and motivated. And sometimes we need that extra motivation, right? So, smaller goals allow for quicker wins, which I'm so big on celebrating wins, which can be energizing and encouraging just as you move forward. So, let me ask you, have you ever set so many goals that included several tasks you didn't take time to break them into achievable steps and then you did absolutely nothing? Me. Because you were so overwhelmed. So, with quarterly planning, it allows for like regular reflection and adjustments. And by revisiting your goals every 12 weeks, you create an opportunity to reflect on what's working and honestly, what's not. The regular check ins, it lets you adjust your approach, ensuring that your goals remain aligned with your priorities. We're going to talk about this alignment throughout this episode. So you just really don't get off track, right? It encourages a more dynamic, flexible approach to planning where you can pivot and you can adapt as needed so you actually get to achieve what you want. Sometimes we find that goals we plan honestly no longer aligned with the direction we want to go or honestly how we want to feel. Adjustments are good so we can keep the momentum of our desired dreams. Let me tell you a story of when I created my first vision book, and it was based on quarterly planning. I've told this story so many times. So I'm driving in my car, 2010, and I say to myself, Jania, you act like you have another life to live. Like this is your go big, go hard, stay focused life. And then in the next life, we'll have a good time. And I'll be honest, I didn't like that feeling. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I went home and I started thinking about, how do I break things down in a more joyful way and focus in the areas where maybe lacks attention? One of the things I started with was laughter. And I know that sounds so silly because it's like, why is that a goal? Me being able to laugh helped me tap into the excitement, the joy, the encouragement, the motivation, the inspiration to even knock out all the other goals. Like, yes, I was doing them and it was rigid, but I really wasn't feeling into that. Have you ever had that where it's like you're go, 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 go? You look at the end of the year and maybe you've accomplished a lot, but you didn't really feel into it? So that's why this is about like feeling into it, having a good time while you're planning. So I go to Hobby Lobby, I buy all these little goodies like paper and pens, and I go home and I have magazine cutouts. And like I said, the first thing I focused on was laughter. I had a whole page dedicated to that. And I broke that down into weekly goals where each week I did a different task. And by the end of the month, I reflected and I could see that I was feeling a lot better. So as I was still, yes, tackling all my goals, I was feeling like, yes, I want to do this. And then I had other things in there like, when I was writing my Butterfly Unique book, where I was able to focus on that and those little tasks and breaking those down per quarter. So I just find that this is so helpful and helping us to achieve what we want to achieve and feel good while doing it. So earlier I mentioned the book, The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. While the 12-week year is all about hard deadlines and measurable outcomes, my approach adds a joyful and gentle touch to the process. This is the soft way where planning and goal setting meet self care, reflection, and emotional alignment. I do want to break down the similarities and the differences in the approach to the 12-week year and the joy map. So, key similarities. Both systems compress goals into a 3-month time frame, helping individuals like you break down annual objectives into shorter, like manageable periods. Actionable steps are a key component of both, right? With each encouraging consistent progress over time, like even when I was talking about the laughter. Both systems emphasize accountability, where throughout there are check ins with yourself or with others. Okay. So, some of the key differences with the Joy Map, the quarterly vision and goal setting workbook, it emphasizes joy and personal well being and planning, ensuring that your goals align with positive feelings and emotional growth. The 12-week year focuses more on productivity and outcome driven results with less attention on emotional connection to the goals. So the Joy Map offers creative and flexible tools such as the Joy Meter for aligning your feelings with your goals. The 12-week year uses more structured performance based approach to achieve results. There are also personal reflection prompts to stay connected to your intentional desires, while the 12-week year is more about external measures like indicators and KPIs. So, those are just a few of the similarities and the differences in the approach. All right. So let me formally introduce you to the Joy Map quarterly vision and goal setting digital workbook and template. So I started walking people through these 10 steps almost, it's about 10 years ago in my little apartment when I lived in Houston, Texas. I gathered like close friends and family just around my sofa and we talked through the prompts. We had reflective time and then we finished with some really fun vision books. It was so much fun and it was very meaningful. We all left like very inspired and with clear action steps. And I've just continued to incorporate these steps for years. And this year, my daughter, who has completed these steps with me many times, encouraged me to make a template to share with others. So here we are. So, this workbook is designed to help you achieve your goals in a way that feels joyful, empowering, and also manageable. So, it's not just ticking the boxes, which I love ticking boxes. Or just achieving results. It's about creating a aligned path to success, that really connects with your inner desires and what truly makes you happy. The workbook, like I said, it has 10 actionable steps, and 10 may seem like a lot, but I promise you, it's not. And it guides you through a process that prepares you for 12 weeks to focus on your planning and your progress. Each step that I have in here, it builds on the next and ensures that you're not just planning, but also taking meaningful action toward your goals while feeling good and inspired. I mean, don't you like to feel good and inspired when you're planning? So, I mean, I know I do. So we're going to start with like the big picture, right? Like we all have like really big dreams and big goals, right? Well, maybe not everybody, but sometimes like when you think about your future self and what you see in your future self, sometimes we're not sure how we want to get there, and it can seem really daunting, but if we break things down, it could be so helpful, because then we see like, wow, maybe this is actually achievable. So in this workbook, we're going to dream big. You'll have a space to reflect on your biggest aspirations, whether they're related to your health, career, relationships, or personal growth. But we don't stop there. We also bring those big dreams down to earth by helping you create actionable goals that can fit within the 12-week period. This gives you a way to work towards your dreams without feeling like they're too far out of reach. And I know you felt that before. I have. So while this workbook, it is structured, right? We need some structure in our life. It's flexible in how you approach your goals. It's not just about checking the task, it's about creating goals that are meaningful and connect you to your purpose and your joy, my favorite word. Each goal you set comes with an action plan, but we also ask, how does this goal feel to you? Are you excited about it? Does it light you up? Or do you need to adjust to make it more aligned with your heart's desire? We want to make sure that we're feeling that, right? The creative side of the workbook invites you to visualize your goals. I love visualization and use fun tools like a vision board, the joy meter, and weekly reflections to stay inspired and connected to your emotions. Because if we can stay connected to our emotions, then it can help us as we are knocking out these tasks. So now I want to walk you through the workbook some, not all 10 steps, but like overall, like the basic 4 steps. And I want to use that with an example. Step one, we got to set the goal after we're feeling into what it is that we desire. So, for this example, it's going to be a well being one, and it's improving my mental health by practicing mindfulness. So, the desired outcome, the specific goal is to practice mindfulness, let's say for 10 minutes each day, aiming to reduce stress, increase calmness, and improve overall well being. So, your emotional connection, right? Because we're tapping into that as well. When setting this goal, think about how it would feel to experience greater peace and reduce anxiety. What would it feel like to have a calmer mind each day? How will it impact your energy, your focus, maybe your relationships. This emotional connection will drive your commitment to the goal. Remember, if you feel it, you want to do it more. Reminding you that it's not just about checking off the task, it's about improving how you feel, right? And living a more aligned life. Step two would be to break it down into actionable steps. Remember the goal: improve my mental health by practicing mindfulness. So let's say that week one actionable step is to set a timer for 5 minutes each day for mindfulness. Week two, increase to 7 minutes each day, trying different techniques like breathing or guided meditation. Week three, add journaling for 3 minutes after each mindfulness session to reflect on your emotional state. Week four, increase to 10 minutes of mindfulness daily and start using an app or listen to a mindfulness podcast to enhance the experience. Then you want to add these steps somewhere as a reminder. For example, your calendar, maybe your notes app, a journal, somewhere where you will look daily. Okay. Step three, integrating the joy meter. Each week after your mindfulness practice, you'll rate your emotional connection to the goal using the joy meter in the workbook. For example, we're going to go back to week one. I felt a little tense, but notice the calmness afterwards. I'd say my joy meter out of 10 is probably about a 5. Week two, I started feeling more grounded and relaxed. Joy meters, maybe about a 7 out of 10. Week three, I feel more aware of my emotions and peace. My joy meter is about an 8 out of 10. Week four, I feel present and happier overall, even when challenges arise. That's where I am right now. I'm feeling like 9 out of 10, right? If you are using the joy meter, then you can see how something is working, or maybe if something is not, and maybe you need to adjust. Okay. Take time each week to reflect on how mindfulness is shifting your emotional state. Are you feeling more centered, calm, or focused, or something else? This regular reflection allows you to make adjustments if you notice anything that's not bringing you joy, or if it feels like it's time to increase the challenge. Okay. The last step, celebrating your progress. I am so big on celebrating wins. So after completing a full week of mindfulness practice, celebrate your consistency. For example, after 7 days of sticking to your goal, treat yourself to a relaxing activity like a long walk, a soothing bath, or a favorite book. The workbook encourages you to celebrate small victories, making the journey feel joyful and meaningful rather than focusing only on the final outcome, right? We have to learn to enjoy the process too. So let's see, here's an example of celebration. I committed to practicing mindfulness every day for a week. This small step has made a positive impact on my mood and mental clarity. Yes, and yes. I'll celebrate by doing something that makes me feel relaxed. You know what? I think I'll do a spa day at home. So this is just a little example of how you can use the overarching large, steps 1 through 4 after you've decided on your goal, to break these down and just really tapping into how you feel as well while you are actioning these steps. So, of course, this is something that's mindfulness. You could take this to a goal you want to achieve. For example, I could use this workbook, right? So, my goal was to launch something for you that's meaningful, that you can use, that's practical, but then also allows you to tap into your joy. So I was like, okay, the goal is I want to create this product that's meaningful, right? So I had to start thinking about, well, how am I breaking this down? Well, I'm taking you through something that I've done before. So I knew what I wanted to include in here. So the first thing is, let me just write out my steps, right? Then after I write out my steps, then the next part of my goal is, let me format it. Then After I format it, let me send it so someone can give me some feedback, right? Then, after I do that, let me make sure that it has all the checks and balances. It looks how I want it to look, it feels, and then let me upload it, right? So, that's just another example of how you can take a larger goal and think about it. A larger goal to create a product, that's pretty large. And I know I simplified it like that. Obviously, there can be more steps in that, but I just want you to think, where in your life would you like to put some attention? And then how are you going to break that down? And how does it make you feel? While I was creating this workbook, it felt so good. Did I have moments of frustration? Sure. Like, it doesn't look exactly how I want. These stars aren't aligning the way I want them to. And it still felt so good, even in the midst of some of that frustration. So, as you can see, breaking down goals into actionable steps, reflecting regularly, and celebrating small wins is a powerful way to stay connected to your intentions and keep you moving forward, my friend. But what if we could take the best of both worlds, the productivity and the focus of the 12-week year and the joyful, creative approach from the workbook? Let's talk about how to create a hybrid approach that brings both urgency and balance into your life. So, the 12-week year emphasizes results, focus, and urgency. It's perfect for those times when you need to push forward and get clear on outcomes and keep yourself accountable. By focusing on a 12-week cycle, it encourages you to break down your year into shorter, more actionable pieces, which helps eliminate procrastination and adds a sense of momentum. However, however, with my approach, with our joy map, we infuse joy in the process by reflecting on your goals regularly, using the joy meter, and incorporating creative elements like vision board, affirmations, and celebrating small wins. We make sure that you're not just getting the things done, you're doing it with emotional alignment and personal fulfillment. Do you know that personal fulfillment feels so good? And you might say, duh, Jania, I know that. But I want you to stop and think about that. Think about how it makes you feel when you have that personal fulfillment. So, how can we combine the two? It's all about alignment. You can absolutely have both. I have. I gave you an example with the workbook. So, focus action and personal fulfillment. By using the 12-week years, focus on the measurable progress, you can get the urgency and clarity to stay on track. That's important, right? By incorporating the creative, joyful elements from the joy map, you can ensure that this progress doesn't lead to burnout. You'll stay connected to your why and maintain a sense of joy throughout the journey. So let's see how this really could work. So we're gonna start by setting your big goals and breaking them down into actionable 12-week steps, like the 12-week year suggests. Then infuse these steps with the reflection, creativity, and self-care elements from the workbook. I want you to track your progress using the joy meter and celebrate the wins along the way. Why? So I keep talking about this. You stay motivated, balanced, and connected to what truly matters to you. Remember, it's not about choosing between hard results or a soft, joyful approach. You can have both. The key is creating a system that works for you, one that allows you to stay focused on what you want to achieve while also staying present. Yes, and how you want to feel, my friend, throughout the process. By doing this, you'll find yourself more productive, fulfilled, and ultimately happier on your journey towards your goals. And that is what I want for you. Create a magical day. I talk a lot about well being, and I feel like this joy map, quarterly vision, and goal setting can help you with that, as well as any big goals you have. It could be for something personal, something at home, something at work, if you're an entrepreneur, because what it's helping you do is plan and feel into, does it align with the inner part of you, because sometimes we may have a goal that doesn't. And I think by aligning with how you want to feel, it helps you to identify, do I really want this? And let's say it's something you have to do. Like let's say it's something at work. And every time you sit down to do it, you're like, oh, I just don't really feel good doing this. How can you break it down? Right. And then what is something you can do that can bring a little joy while you are doing it? I'll give you an example. So sometimes I don't really like writing long documents. Why? Because I'm sitting there for a long time. I'm just type, 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 type. And sometimes it can be a little boring. So something I like to do to help myself with that, because it's something I have to do, is how do I break this down? So I think about, how do I want to break down the document? What are the different pieces of it? I put on some music. I have some spray. I have my happy light. Sometimes I'll even put lotion on my hand because it feels really good. I'll make sure lighting is good. I'll have my tea, and then I'll sit down and I'll slowly tackle some of those tasks. So I also want you to think about, what are you putting in your environment that feels good, that helps you tackle the different tasks that will help you get to your goals. Okay, now that you have the tools and knowledge to combine the focus of the 12-week year with the joyful approach of my workbook, the Joy Map, it's time to get started. Begin with the 12-week cycle, using your workbook and template to guide you step by step through the process. This approach, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. The key is to start, reflect regularly, adjust when needed, and celebrate every small win along the way. Remember, this is a journey of growth and transformation. By integrating both focused action and personal fulfillment, you'll not only reach your goals, but also enjoy the process. And most importantly, you'll stay aligned with what truly matters to you. I invite you to join me on this journey. Purchase your copy of the Joy Map, Quarterly Vision and Goal Setting Digital Workbook and Template today on the website, createamagicalday.com. This episode is one of 4. It is a 4-part series, all focused on planning who you want to be and how you will get there. It's going to be so much fun. I am so excited. I have so many cool things to share with you. Oh my gosh. So begin your path forward intentionally. Joy. Yes. Joy, joy, joy. Again, you can find the workbook at createamagicalday.com. I love to hear about your quarterly goals and how you're progressing. Share your journey with me. Join the Joy Creators community on Facebook. If you're not there, we're going to be talking about it there. Or connect with me on Instagram or Facebook under Joyful Jania or Create a Magical Day. Let's support and inspire each other as we work toward living our most joy-filled, intentional lives. Remember, progress over perfection. My friend, every day may not be filled with joy, but you can create joyful moments every day. Let's create a magical day every day if we can. If you are not subscribed, subscribe. If you like this, like it. Leave me a comment. I want to know what you took away from this. I would also like to know, what are some topics that you would like for me to share as it relates to planning out our lives with ease and joy and grace. I would love to connect with you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Cheers to joy.